Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it on and popping. I've been incognito for the past couple days. I had to get some personal business out the way. But I decided to give you guys Friday. You know, I usually don't do anything on Friday, but I said, let me give you guys Friday since I've been playing hooky for the past couple of days. You know, doctor's appointments. I got a guy that I'm setting up his computer at his house, setting up his whole network system at his house and all that other stuff. So I think it's all done and out the way. I think it's all done and out the way. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. Let's get it on and popping here. Let's get it on and popping. See what the Valtos chart is doing here. Okay. News for today. FOMC guys started speaking at 9 o'clock. We got a high impact consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So I'm not going to pull anything before 10 o'clock. Inflation expectations also comes out at 10 o'clock. And mortgage delinquencies. That's you guys who are behind in your mortgage payments. You're included in that count. Let's see what else is going on here. I don't know why they're counting mortgage delinquencies. I guess that has something to do. Yeah, I guess it would have something to do with the economy, for real. Barr speaks at 1:30. I'll be through by 1:30 though, and then we got federal budget balance at 2 o'clock. They say that's low impact. That I would almost consider that high impact for real. Magic is taking a break today. I don't know if he'll be back in time, but one man does not stop the show. We are going to march on. We are on an outside day on the daily. As you can see, the daily is up today. We are up on the futures. Let's see, the futures is up 17 and a quarter. Dow futures is up 121. NASDAQ futures is up 8 3/4. Okay. NASDAQ looks the same. Dow futures looks the same. Everything almost looks the same on the daily. So that's what we got popping on the daily. Trusty Dusty. You guys know what my Trusty Dusty is. Dow cash is up 120. NASDAQ is up 82. All right. We're going to go through some signals, but before this report comes out, we're going to go through some signals since I'm not going to pull any trades before the report comes out. I tagged a couple of signals that they came out yesterday. Hopefully some of you guys caught it. Let's go through some of these signals here. Hold on one second. Let me pull up my screenshots. Took some screenshots. Okay. One more. I gotta grab one more picture. Bear with me, fellas. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, I took 2 screenshots. And the reason why I took these screenshots, let's go to Trade Devil's charts here. Now this dotted line, just to, I found myself, for some of you new guys, some of you new guys that are just coming in, this dotted line is the high of the session. and the green line is the low of the session. So that lets me know when I'm hitting the highs and lows of the day. Okay. And that's a basically that is a free indicator inside of your NinjaTrader indicators. Okay. Just get the high and low for the day, or high and low for the session of the day. Make sure your time is set correct. You know, my time, let me show you guys my time here. My time is set on extended trading hours. And on my order flow, I usually set it to like 3 days. You can set it for like 3 days, 4 days. But a lot of times, if you set it for any, and I think the sweet spot is like 3 or 4 days. If you set it to anything longer than that, you might have yours set to 7 days or 8 days or whatever the case might be. You're going to find your bars and your numbers are going to be, or are not going to be in sync. Your numbers might be sitting on top of your bars. I saw somebody talking about this in the Discord room. I think it was in a Trade Devils Discord room, right? So you're going to find your bars. Sometimes your bars are not going to be in sync with your numbers. If that is the case, then what you might want to do is just hit your F5 key. If your F5 key does not work, because what your F5 key does is it reloads everything. It reloads everything on your charts. If the F5 key doesn't work, after you find that your numbers are off sync with your bars, then shorten your days. Go into your data series. Make sure you got your time correct, but shorten your days. And usually my day, you're looking at order flow. You don't, not unless you're doing research. You don't need 5, 6, 7 days loaded. You want the sweet spot. Sweet spot is anywhere between 2 and 3 days. I think Mike Valtos does 2 to 3 days also. That's when you're running real time. Now, of course, when you're trading when you're researching, you can do days longer than that. Okay. So that's just a little tidbit there, because I've noticed that was a conversation inside the Discord room. I want to say probably about 3-4 days ago, maybe even a little longer, but get used to using your program, because they're the little things. I noticed the little problems that they're little problems to me, of course, because I'm familiar with the program, but a lot of things the people are having with is they're not familiar with their program. So get used to using your program, and a lot of those problems will start to dissipate. Okay. Now, let's go into, I think this was yesterday. This is just an example of comparison. Of course, I wasn't sitting in front of the screen yesterday, so I did mark some things up. And this was at the close of the day also. Okay? And the reason why I'm doing this is because this situation can pop up any time of the day. It doesn't have to be near the close. This situation can pop up any time of the day. As you can see, we got a minus 76 here. Then it goes to a min-max, and you got plus 411 there. Okay? You have your cum delta, and let me mark this. Let me mark this while I'm talking about this. You got your cum delta on this bar of 99.35. You got almost the same, probably a little less on here, but your delta goes from minus 76 to plus 411. Also, notice I marked sellers down here on this bottom left-hand side, 270. And then when it gets back down here to the same price, you got 59. that's a big difference. That's a big drop in sellers. They've given up. They've given up the ghost right about there. Okay, so your entry bar will be here. Didn't take that much of a that much heat, but then it went from 411 to 1933. Even though this happens at the end, even though you see the time frame that this is happening at the end of the day, this is the kind of things I'm looking at during the day. This is definitely something that you want to be paying attention to. Okay? So even though, and I'm going to tell you something else too. And I saw, I think Quant Trader guy, he has a technique where he goes and takes a trade like 10, 15 minutes before the close. Let me show you guys something, just in case you forget. When you go into your control panel and you click on options, there's something down here where it says auto close. If you find yourself that you're going to be taking advantage of, quick trades like that at the end of the day, especially when you're quarter, and I'm talking Eastern time here, you're talking 3:45, 10 minutes to 4, and you think you can grab, say, 3 points or so on that run up or that run down, go into your trading of your options, right? And see where it says, see the category where it says trading? See where it says auto close positions? You can put a check mark on this. And then you can add your instruments. So if you're looking for, if you do ES, you can add the ES there. If you do NASDAQ, you can also add the NASDAQ there. And then you can say auto close on all instruments. Right? Not on all instruments, but just on these particular two instruments. Let me see if that adds it. That added those two instruments to that. And then you go in and you set the time. And this is so you don't get caught at the end of the day holding your position over, because they will charge you for that. Ninja Trader has a thing where if you don't have the margin, then a lot of us don't have to worry about that. But if you don't have the margin, then they're gonna. I think they charge like it's like a bank fee or something. They charge like $25 for holding something, and when you don't have the margin, that's something unnecessary. I guess that's just their way of making money. But you go in, you set the time. You know that. Let's see how we set the time here. I would set it to like 3:59 p.m. So that's 3:59 p.m. and when you hit apply, notice that will be on the next connect. So you would have to disconnect your Ninja Trader and then connect it back up in order for this to be in effect. So now you know at 3:59 if you have any trades on at 3:59 or less, right around 3:59, it's going to automatically take you out of those trades. So that's just a little tidbit, for you guys who are thinking about holding positions or taking a trade towards the close. Okay. Now, another snapshot I did, and this was a perfect snapshot yesterday. This was a double bottom. This double bottom happened around, I want to say right around 10:15 a.m. yesterday. This is a double bottom. This is the kind of stuff that I am talking about. You have to watch out for, and you want to pay. And yeah, it's easy to say, yeah, I see it now. But the thing is catching this stuff. And me and Magic, we catch this stuff all the time while we're looking at charts. So This right here, notice you got a double bottom here. We are sitting inside of a fair value gap buy zone, which is another plus. So let's look at this. We got a fair value gap here, 5-minute fair value gap here. We got 7 versus 39. We got a min-max here, and this is a double bottom. Now also pay attention to the signals that you have check marked inside of your TDU. Because I have inside of this check mark, I have a delta sweep, I have a thin print. And that came after the double bottom. So that's another good sign of, to take a trade in case you didn't get in on the double bottom and you're waiting for confirmation. This third bar here is definitely your confirmation. You got 485 here on the delta. You got 368 here on the plus 368. And then with that delta sweep, the delta goes up to a plus 1097. Also, you got 1021 on this first pivot right here. Then you got 1205 on the second pivot. So you got more buyers here. You got a plus of more buyers here. So that's your go right there. And then the QM delta goes from 1205 up to 2302. So, and this happened yesterday around 1021. So hopefully some of you guys caught that trade. And if you're not seeing these trades, you will get used to seeing them once you I actually had the double bottom programmed at one time in my alerts. The only thing is you cannot program that bid on the left hand side or that ask on the right hand side on the top. I wish we could, and you can see, look at the ask right here, you got 120, and then you got less buyers here, you got 70, and then it jumps up to 164 on this bar. So the buyers are definitely coming in, as you can see. And this is how you get used to watching those numbers. Get into watching your numbers. Definitely get into watching those. Once you start to watching those numbers, you will see definite change in little nuances when you start looking at those numbers. If you're interested in a template, just look at the description down below this video, and you'll see range bars, fair value gap. You'll see my TDU template, and you will see Magic's TDU template with the Bollinger Bands. So just thought I would go over that. These are trades yesterday, and that was a pretty, if you look at it, that was a pretty good trade yesterday too. That's a pretty good run. Even if you got in worst case scenario right around here, it looks like about 18. It ran all the way up to like 25, 28, maybe even a little higher. That was almost a 10-point run right there alone. That's all you need for the day. You get one run like that for the day, you good to go. That's real talk. Then you're not as hungry and you're not looking to take as many trades as you think you want to take. You catch a 10-point run, you're good. You are good. So I just thought I would mention those two trades. Those are two trades that popped up yesterday, or the other trade, as I talked about this particular trade right here. Even though it was at the end of the day, you find a lot of people who take that trade. And this scenario does not have to pop up at the end of the day. That scenario can pop up anytime. Anytime. All right, let's go catch up with what's going on today. Let's go catch up what's going on today. QM Delta, we're looking at 4,400. Dow cash is up 175. NASDAQ is up 132. So I'm only looking to take long trades today. I am only looking to take long trades today. Another thing you can compare. Let me show you guys another thing you can compare. A lot of times when you get a higher low, that's after a pullback bar. So here's the higher low right here. Here's the pivot right here. Notice these numbers are getting less and less. You got 43 here. You got 31 here. You got 21 here. And now you got 26 here. So on those higher lows, especially when you got the cum delta building, right? You got 314, then you got a minus 1240. Of course, this was the open, minus 321, 524. And then on this one right here, that higher low, you got plus 1090. Definitely something to consider. Look at your delta, 639. Then it jumps up to 1389. This bar right here, 1866. So that's definitely something to consider when you're looking at the numbers. Definitely something to consider. Compare your numbers. Watch what you are doing. And I learned this the hard way. So I'm giving you guys a tidbit here. You know, compare, even though some people might not like using the cum. Now, like I said, and I say this in all videos, whether you're looking at crude oil, whether you're looking at the NASDAQ, whether you're looking at gold, whether you're looking at silver, whatever you might be looking at, those numbers are going to be different. You can't jump on a gold and expect for gold numbers, you know, deltas to be minus 1,500 or minus 1,700 or plus 900, plus 800. Those numbers are going to be different. You have to sit there, look at your numbers, and start paying attention to what is the norm. What is the norm for that particular commodity? What is the norm for that particular commodity? Because it makes all the difference in the world. Trust me on that. Makes all the difference in the world. Okay? Let's see what else is happening here. So yes, I'm only looking to go long right now. Now, me and Magic were talking yesterday evening. One thing he talked about, and I said I was going to mention this. You know, sometimes we just get the urge to pull a trade. Me and Magic we call that a fiend for action. You're fiending for action. Is it fiend or fiend? I think it's fiend. like, you know, the drug fiend or whatever. But, you know, you got a fiend for action. Watch that. That is hard to control. Every once in a while, I do it. But learn yourself. Watch yourself. Pay attention to the things, even though you want to see it, there might not be nothing happening there. And Magic came out on the plus side. But one thing he admitted yesterday, he said, hey, I pulled off too many trades yesterday. He said he pulled off 5 trades. That's not a lot. I didn't really consider that a lot of trades, but if he considers that a lot, then for himself, then that's a lot, right? And I said, oh, you were just feeding for action. A lot of times that's what we do. We have, sometimes we just want to see action. Don't pull off those kind of trades if you don't see anything. Discipline is the hardest thing to practice. I am practicing that right now. I think I pulled off a trade 2 days ago in the morning time. And I ended up losing on that trade. And my cum delta was not where I wanted it to be. I pulled it off anyway. but I might have been, you know, just wanting to see some action. Sometimes when you get the signal, when you start seeing the kind of signals you want, when you start actually making money, and I say this to Magic a lot, sometimes you'll get in a comfort zone and you start, what's the word I'm looking for? You start slacking. Everything doesn't, some things in you that you were looking for when you were pulling those winning trades might not be as important as when you were pulling, as you was when you taking a losing trade. So you might be looking at, I'll give you an example, I might be looking at the cum now, but I wasn't looking at the cum that morning I pulled that trade because I felt comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Do not get comfortable. Yes, quantity over quality. Black Chip is sitting in the background watching. What's up, Morgan K? Yes. Quantity over quality. That's what you don't want to do. You want quality trades. You don't want quantity. It's not about how many trades you pull. It's about the trade you pull and how many points or ticks. If I'm talking to Magic, it's ticks. But for me, I'm pulling points. It's how many points you pull on that trade. Like I said, that trade yesterday, that was over a 10-point run. Boom, you might be done for the day. I do that kind of stuff. Magic will tell you, I do that kind of stuff. If I pull a trade and I didn't make 7 or 8 points on that trade, I ain't that much of I ain't in no hurry to pull another trade. That's how I get it. For some reason, that's how I get. It's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. So, yeah, watch how you pull your trades. Do you just want to see action, or is everything there you're looking for? All right, we got a report coming out at 10 o'clock. Got a couple of reports coming out at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to wait for these reports to come out at 10 o'clock. And then we're going to see what we got after that. Now, on to the Valtos chart. And I think I heard Mike Valtos talk about this, and I could have sworn I heard him say this in one of his, I'm going to call them webinars that he does every Tuesday night. And I'm starting to understand I'm really starting to see what he was talking about now. When you pick the signals that you want on the Valtos chart, because everything, all of his signals are automated now, and you will see, his signals go off, his signals are on and popping and so forth like that. When you see his signals go off on his chart, and I kind of agree with him, and then I'm still on the fence about the bias thing. I asked him a question about bias one night. This is about a week or two ago, and he said he doesn't have a bias. I usually I keep a bias because it keeps me on track of what the market is doing. A bias keeps me on track of whether I only want to take long trades or short trades. But the way Valtos signals are set up here, if you look, and these are 15R bars. If you look at these signals here, and I haven't looked at them on a 1 minute chart. I will admit I'm guilty of that. I have not gone to a 1 minute chart yet, right? I like to take signals in direction of my bias, even if it's a Valtos signals. But I told Magic one day, I said, man, it doesn't make no difference what your bias is, because a lot of times if you go over these signals, if you take the signal, especially when you have a real nice volatile day, you're going to make money on both sides of the market. That was interesting to me. I think that's what he said, and I'm starting to see that now. So that's just something, and that's based on his signals. That's based on his signals. And these are, of course, these signals are taking a hit, but these are at the end of the day. I don't trade at the end of the day, There were no long signals at the end of the day because, of course, you can see that the short-term trend is starting to go up towards the end of the day, and you can tell your Cum Delta should reset at the end of the day. Your Cum Delta should reset at the end of the day. Notice this went from 15,037 to 262, and you notice that the high of the session and the low of the session, they squeeze together on one bar. And I think that reset is right around 6 o'clock, 6:15 Eastern time. Depending on where you're at in the United States, that reset is going to be different. But mine is right around 6 o'clock, 6:15 Eastern time. And then the Cum starts all over again. That's the way I like my Cum Delta to do. So on dead days, and 2 days ago, I think a guy on Discord, I talk to him every once in a while. His name is Mikey B. Mikey B, welcome to the channel if you're watching. I'm gonna tell you something about the one thing I noticed about Valto's chart on dead days when there's no action. You very seldom, there was a day I was looking at where there were hardly no signals. I think that was right there. Yeah, but if the volatility is dead, I notice Valto's doesn't give no signals, which is a good thing. So he's not getting you, he's not chopping you up. He's not chopping you inside and outside the market. You're not getting chopped up inside and outside the market. So yeah, that was a good thing I noticed about his. So that's something that you can kind of like pay attention to and watch. You know, you're not going to get too many signals if there's nothing going on a dead day. So the report has come out. We got a Delta trap here. We got a Delta sweep here. Anything that comes on the 4th bar, 5th bar, I'm really not interested in. I'm really not interested in. So we got a report came out. We got a Delta trap came out on the 3rd bar. But you can see right before the report, we got 1866, and I don't trade on reports, but here's another good example of way of to look at. And this stuff does happen during non-report times. You don't only see this stuff. It might happen less, but this is the kind of stuff you want to. These are the kind of jumps you want to see. You got an 1866 here, but then the Delta jumps on that pivot to a minus 963, minus 963, minus 327. You got a plus 3382 there. You got less buyers there. You see the minus, you see the effect there on the Cum, and then you got a Delta trap there. So you actually probably could have took it right here, not on report day though, because I guarantee you would have got filled right here or possibly right there. Don't trade on report days. Do not trade on report days, because when you go to the market, you're going to get exactly what you got coming to you. If you're trying to go short, you're going to get the low of that. Whatever you're expecting, just look at the low. If you're trying to go long, you're going to get the long of that. So that's basically, you know, what happens during reports. So, but yeah, that's a real nice flip right there. The point I was trying to make, let me delete all that. Got off track there a little bit. Point I was trying to make, you got a plus 18.6, and you got a flip here. You got a thin print. You got a min max, which is the min since it's a down bar. You got a min max here, and then you got a minus Delta there. So that's definite. And then if you want to wait for, if you wanted to wait for a Cum, or not a Cum, but a confirmation, here's your confirmation. You got a Delta trap there, and I found the Delta traps to be very good. Now I'm looking at it on the 15R. I love those delta traps. I found them to be very good. Very good. I have delta traps and I have delta slingshots. I have delta traps and delta slingshots set up. But let's go to that setup for a minute, because inside of that setup, here's the kicker. And here's what's going to make your signals go off on this particular play. Select that to green. See this right here where it says extreme delta level? I have mine set at 1,000. That's the only time those signals are going to go off, when that delta is extreme by 1,000. That's the only time that signal is going to go off. And Morgan, yes, what makes that delta trap go off? Go to Trade Devil's website and you'll see he gives definitions for every signal that's popping off inside of that. So you can see, and you go down here, you see I have quite a few things check marked. I don't have everything check marked, but I got an imbalance bar marker, and you can see these. I have these checked off, and I have quite a few checked off. So whatever signals you like to see, those are the ones you want checked off. And you can go to his website, and in his website, he's basically telling you what creates each and every signal. That's in the PDF. So yes, I like that delta trap. I have mine set at 1,000. Yes, I understand what you're saying, Morgan. Go check out his stuff is all on his website on why that particular signal jumps. I have my extreme delta is set at 1,000. So at 1,000 or more, that delta sweep is going to pop. That delta sweep is going to pop. If you set yours at 900 or 700, I think Magic got his set at 950, and then on another chart he might have it set at 700. So yeah, whatever you set that at, basically delta trap or delta sweep, that's where that signal is going to pop. And if it doesn't hit that particular number, you're not going to get a signal. I love the delta trap. I love the delta sweep. Along a couple of other ones, but when you're starting to see flips on that delta, like plus 1866 and minus 963, a lot of times you will also see a delta sweep or delta trap come a couple of bars or bar two after that particular flip. That's not a bad trade. This delta sweep down here though on the fourth bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 4 bars down. I'm not interested in anything that's 4 bars down. I'm not interested in anything that's 4 bars down. That's if you're interested in taking. And this would be a counter trade. Recognize when you're in a counter trade and when you're going with the trend. This right here is a counter trade. Reason why I call it a counter trade, and this is why I call it a counter trade, is because the cum delta, and you know that cum delta is one of my main indicators. A lot of people don't pay attention to the cum. I pay attention to the cum. I don't know why. For visual for me, if it's green, I'm looking to go long. If it's red, I'm looking to go short. That's how I look. That's how I'm looking to take my trades. Also, another way I look at my trades, let me show you this chart right here. This chart right here, you see this, let me mark these. You see this cum delta right here when it falls below? When it falls below this moving average, when that cum delta falls below that moving average, and even though the cum delta might be green, That would be the only time I would consider taking a counter trade if the cum delta is below the moving average and I get a short signal. Let me repeat that. The cum delta would have to be below this moving average in order for me to take a counter trade, or I would consider taking a counter trade. Don't necessarily mean I'm gonna take it, but that is definitely one of my indications of me taking a counter trade. Because if you notice, this market is trending up. Let's look at this. This market is trending up. It broke right here, but the market is trending up. So I'm only looking to take long trades at this point. And it kind of keeps the confusion. It stops you from getting confused as to whether you want to take a long trade or a short trade. That's why I always say draw your trend lines. But if you consider taking a short trade, have something, and it doesn't necessarily have to be this cum falling below the moving average or above the moving average. You might be using the MACD or whatever. Make sure that that particular indicator is giving you a go ahead as far as taking a short. Don't just take a short because you got a double top up here or you got a double bottom up here and we're trending up or trending down. We might be trending down and you might get a double bottom. Okay, well, if we're trending down and you get a double bottom, does that necessarily mean you're going to take that? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So this is just my little trick that I use to say, okay, is that cum delta? If I know we trending up, I'll say, okay, is that cum delta? Are we trending down below that moving average? I'll consider taking a short trade. Keyword, consider. But I don't always, I just to stay out of trouble, keep my account out of the red and having to get on my knees and pray for a trade when I know I'm in a counter trade, I don't take the counter trades. Another bus will be along. Trust me. Another bus will be along. So that's my little trick for taking counter trades. And like I said, it doesn't make a difference what indicator you're using. You might be looking at the stochastics, the Williams percent, whatever. A moving average, you might have a 21 period or 18 period or 89 period or whatever period moving on your chart, right? But I have a moving average on my cum because that cum is going to dictate to me whether I want to take a counter trade or not. Yep. Just a little, just some tidbits there. Just some tidbits there. Anybody got any questions? Shoot them. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're thinking. If I can help, I will. Also, and I just thought about this reading one of Magic's comments. When you're taking a counter trade, your target is not going to be the same. You might want to do an all in, all out because you might not get the same amount of move to the downside if you're taking a counter trade to the downside that you would get to the upside and vice versa. So your targets and stuff will probably change also. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Let's see what's popping on Valto's stuff here. Got a price action divergence flashing. Have a volume decline flashing. Might not be a bad trade for a Valto signal just to see how these signals do. I am trading Valto signals based on Cume Delta. I put in my own little filter there based on the Cume Delta. Like I said, Valto said he doesn't have a bias, and he's looking at other things also going into his trade. So, but right now I have a price action divergence flashing where it was flashing. So yeah, and another key thing is don't run ahead of your trades. Do not run ahead. When I say run ahead of your trades, I'm talking about like we see this trade, we see this flashing, we see a price action divergence. Now we see accumulation distribution of passive buyers, and we see volume decline flashing. Just because it's flashing, that don't mean go long. Wait for that price to close above or below that price marker, or if you're trading minutes, wait for that bar to close. Because if you run ahead, it'll disappear on you. If you run ahead, it will disappear on you. What's up, Mike Black? I'm trading. I have 6 screens in front of me. I have 6 screens in front of me. So, but yeah, 2 of those screens I got the OBS. Not 2. One of those screens I do have my OBS on, and the other one I have my Dome, my alert log, and my news page, and so forth like that. So I'm actually utilizing 3 screens, and then I have another screen with my Thinkorswim platform on, along with my market analyzers and my control panel and so forth like that. So yeah, I'm only actually utilizing 3 screens. Mike, are you trading also? Because I know you're over there in the UK. I think a lot of you guys over in the UK, I think you guys like to trade, is that the Russell Index? Do you look at the Russell Index? I know a lot of guys over here that trade the Russell Index. I've never gotten into the Russell Index. But I know a lot of guys who live over in the UK, they like to look at the Russell Index. Never gotten into the Russell Index. You got the Russell Index, and you guys can look at the Russell Index, the NASDAQ, the E-mini, crude oil, gold. A lot of people look at gold, the Euro futures, not the Euro Forex, but the Euro futures. And there are so many things out here to trade. It just all depends on what you're comfortable with. Just all depends on what you're comfortable with. So yes, I am liking the long side today. We're at 145 on the Dow Cash and 65 on the NASDAQ. So I am liking the long side today. Looking at the profile bars, I'm starting to get used to these profile bars also. Let me talk about these profile bars for a minute. And I apply the same thing that I am looking at. Let me save this. Let me save Magic's thing for a second, because my marker seems to act a little funny when my marker seems to act a little funny when I got 2 charts running on one screen. Okay, so save that. Get rid of that window. So let me show you guys something on the profile bars that I'm really starting to pick up on. And Michael Black was talking about this yesterday, is momentum. Like I told Mike yesterday, I actually like looking at the momentum with the profile bars. Over here, here's the momentum. The first line is based on 1 bar. This is based on, the second line is based on 3 bars. And the last CDA2 is based on 5 bars. Okay? Now, with that being said, you can change, you can look at, I got it set on 3 and 5. You might want to change that to 5 and 7, right? Reason why I have it set on 3 and 5 is because I want to see something. I don't want to lag. I'm trying to deflect the lag. So if you understand what I'm saying, I don't want to see too much of a lag. I don't want to see and I thought about putting it on 7. I don't want to see a momentum based on the last 7 bars. Because if I got it based on the last 7 bars, the run is just about over, right? And I'm looking at 15R. Now 7 bars will be fine if you're looking at something like me and Magic call Chester bars. If you're in Chester, Chester likes looking at 20R. So if you like looking at a 20R, then a 5, setting it to a 5 and a 7 would be fine. That would be perfect. He would probably be clocking at that point. Okay? So with that being said, since I'm looking at a 15R, I found the 3 and the 5 setting to be, just fine, right? You can set that at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the guy gives you an option to set these momentums at, whatever you want, based on whatever amount of bars you want to use as the average. And you can look at this right here. And this is what I'm talking about. When you start seeing, and this would be, even though this is a counter trade, right? You look at his delta, and I'm questioning his delta because my delta and Mike Valto's deltas, TDU's deltas, and Mike Valto's deltas matches. I don't know if he has to make a correction to this, and I think I'm going to send him a email, or not an email, but he's on Discord also, right? And I'm gonna send him a Discord and ask him about this delta because I got, and even though it works out, I just want to know what his calculation is. I don't think his calculation is the same. I'm not sure, but his delta is nowhere near. His delta is nowhere near my delta. Okay, so, but it still works out the same. He goes from a plus 3153 to a minus 804, right? Notice the momentum on the 5 period goes from 3215 to not to a minus, but to 1564. The 3 period goes from 2378 to minus 515, or not minus 515, but a plus 515. And then he has a cum momentum here. The cum delta momentum. This is the cum delta momentum, by the way. The cum delta momentum goes from plus 1577 to minus 402. So I'm applying the same kind of techniques, just as far as looking at the decreasing or the increasing in the momentum. So that's how I'm looking at the momentum, and as you can see, it's getting more and more negative as you go down along, more and more negative. And this is your turnaround right here. When it goes from this is what catches my eye, and I want to see if I can set alerts for this. And right now you can't. So hopefully his next upgrade you'll be able to set alerts for this, because when he goes from plus 3215, then he drops plus 1564, and then it goes to a plus 262, right? That's this bar right here, by the way. That's something else he doesn't have quite set yet. On his bars, this right here And I am definitely going to admit his cum delta is not lined up with his bars, but I know once you get used to running this program, that plus 362 is for that pivot right there. That minus 1604, this is for this bar right here. So he still has some work to do, but it's giving me the information that I want to see. So I'm definitely looking at that. And this is the profile's footprint. This guy is giving up some pretty good information on this particular chart. Just thought I'd shoot that in there. Haha. Anyway, got a buy signal here. Now let me show you guys something on the Valtos. And here's how I set my alerts up on the Valtos. Here is how I set my alerts up on the Valtos, because if you try to set alerts up in different combinations, you'll be setting alerts up all day long. So what I did was I went into alerts. I took all of his buy signals and put them under, I call them Valtos buy signals, and I took all of Valtos buy signals and I programmed them under buy signals. I took all of his sell signals and I programmed them under sell signals. So looking at his indicator, let's go look at his indicator. You can see he has delta buying signals and selling signals. And that's how I decided to program those alerts. Put all the buys together. It doesn't make no difference which one it is. If I get a buy alert, it's going to alert me. But what I like to do is I like to see them in different combinations. So even though we got declining volume here, and that's declining volume on the sell side, right? Declining volume on the sell side. And I got price action divergence here. And you guys saw when I get an alert, any one of these pop up, or all three of them, all four of them, all five of them can pop up, I'll get an alert. Also, I have my swing set to 5. I have my swing set to 5. I think that's the default, if I'm not mistaken. So that is not bad at all. That is not bad, because if I sat back and I said, well, I want to see if you try to sit back and say, well, you want to see a price action divergence with a volume decline and a POC wave, trust me, by the time it's all said and done, you're going to have buku. I'm going to use the word buku. You're going to have buku alerts. And one thing I noticed, not I, but me and Magic noticed, when you start setting up a lot of alerts in NinjaTrader, you're going to get lag. You're going to get the lag effect. And we ran into that problem a couple weeks ago. Magic's computer, and he don't have no slouch computer either. He has a very good computer. Everything just started to slow down, especially when reports came out. He was like, man, I'm getting 1 and 2 minute lag. Don't load up try to load up as less alerts as you can. You don't want to load up too many alerts. If you do load up the alerts and you got a lot of alerts running, pay attention to your lag. Pay attention to your lag. Let me show you the lag, by the way, since I'm talking about it. There is an indicator. And I posted this, and I think I'm gonna have to post this as a permanent indicator also. It tells you how much you are lagging inside of your NinjaTrader. Point is 0.06, 0.04, that's good. You start to get up to 30 seconds, 1 minute, so forth. You got a problem. Something is going on. Something is going on that you need to pay attention to in your Ninja Trader, because you don't want to see a big time lag when that data's coming through. You do not want to see a lag when that data's coming through. So that's my lag indicator, and we definitely, me and Magic, we keep an eye on that, and that's something that you want to pay attention to when you're running Ninja Trader. All right, let's see what's popping here. We are gone to the negative side on the Cum. We are gone to the negative side on the Cum. And I'm gonna tell you, this can get tricky, because even though we're minus 3,000, almost 3,000 now on the Cum, the Dow is plus 126. The NASDAQ is plus 23. And just because the Dow is plus 126 does not mean that the E-mini has to keep up with it, because one or two stocks might be keeping that Dow positive. Everything else might be negative. If you got, if you have a TD Ameritrade, or not TD Ameritrade, or Thinkorswim account, you can look at the heat map and see what stocks are down and what stocks are up. That'll give you an idea if you're being tricked on that Cum Delta. Let's see if we can pull off any trades here today. Here's a trade right here. I missed it, totally missed it. I'm explaining things, so you guys bear with me. Or here's one to consider anyway. Here's one to consider anyway. Let's look at this for a second. A lot of teachable moments are popping up here. So when you get a pullback, and me and Magic look at this all the time, this is Magic's favorite kind of trade here, okay? Seeing as though the Cum is going negative now, right? Look at this. When you get a pullback, you get down action, you get an up bar, and then here is a lower high compared to, this is a lower high. Pay attention to your market structure. Pay attention to your market structure. When you get a pullback, and look at the delta, minus 1428. Even though you didn't get higher volume compared to the last bar, you got minus 208 here. Or for that matter, you can go back to this high right here and you got plus 489. But when it pulled back, you got minus 1428. That's a go. Magic will tell you, I go on those signals all the time. That's a go. If you're really concentrating on your charts and everything is going like you want, you're going to see trades like that all the time. Continuation trades. I think that's what they call them, continuation trades. So right here at this high, you got 489, then you got a pullback, and sometimes, and you got a minus 1428 here. Sometimes that delta is not going to show up on top of that bar because this volume was not greater than this volume right here. It's comparing the last volume. It's comparing the volume of the current bar to the last volume. And since 12,000 is not greater than 18,000, you didn't get that. So sometimes, even though you're not going to see that delta pop up, still pay attention to your delta. Me and Magic call that the ghost. We call that a ghost bar or ghost delta because the volume wasn't there, but the delta is there. And you can see what happened after that. You can see what happened after that. Now, this is not a system. This is just an approach. I got to keep saying this because a lot of people say, man, that system ain't working. Or this is not working, or that is not working. This is not a system. This is an approach. And your numbers are going to be different. And I got to stress this because a lot of people don't get it. Your numbers are going to be different if you're on a different commodity. So that's definitely something you want to pay attention to. I wish we had this stuff back in 2000 when I was at the brokerage firm. Oh man, we'd have probably really been making a killing then. We'd have really probably been making a killing then. And this all this stuff is fairly new to me the way it's new to you guys. Except I think Magic got me involved with OrderFlow back in right around 2015. So when you start looking at OrderFlow enough, you'll get it. You'll get it. You start to look at these numbers long enough, you'll start to see. You look at Mike Valto's videos. I just got a email from him. He has an encyclopedia. He has an encyclopedia of videos. If you get it, it's worth it because you will start to see things that you normally do not see. Mike Valtos has a shitload of signals. I think he's just trying to pick the best of the best to give you guys so you guys can understand. But he has a shitload of signals in that encyclopedia. I think he said it's over 100, put it this way, over 100 signals. You can't use all 100 signals. You'll go crazy. So if you get those videos, pick your best signals out of that video that you want to keep track, set an alert for it, and start watching those particular signals. That's where you make a pot of coffee on a Friday night and you start to get busy. That's what it's about. And you start to do your research on your charts. Just do your research on your charts. You know, it doesn't have to be real time, but you know, that way you can go back 7 to 8 days and then you can start picking, you know, go back even further than that, especially when you don't have real time data coming in. I think you can go back as far as you want, if I'm not mistaken. Get used to looking at those numbers. Pay attention to market structure. This is market structure right here. Let's see what we're working with here on Balto's thing. Got passive buyers coming in. We got volume decline coming in, and a POC wave. I think if this bar closes up, I think I'm gonna try to. But I want to see this bar close. Notice the bar mark is at 49.25, which means the price has to get to 49 even in order for this bar to close. Do not run ahead of your bars. Do not run ahead of your bars. But you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, Cum Delta's 23.36. I'm not interested in a long trade. This is now you're hearing the thoughts that are going through my mind. You know, first I want to take the trade. Now I look down at the Cum Delta. Cum Delta's minus 2,300. No, I'm not interested in a long trade. So even if that signal does go off, I'm not interested. Why? Because the Cum Delta, and also like my man Chester says, look at your market structure. Look at your market structure. Boom, 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 boom. Lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs. Of course, we got a lower low right here. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but this is almost, you can almost look at that as a lower low. Pay attention to market structure. I don't talk about this enough. Pay attention to your market structure. All right. I would like to see a sniper trade go off here or something. Yeah, I'm not going to take this trade because we're at a minus 2,000 on the Q. Mike Valtos might take it because he doesn't have a bias. I'm not going to take it. I'm looking at market structure. I'm looking at the Cume. Now, if the Cume was sitting up here plus a couple thousand or whatever, yes, I would probably consider taking it. But now, the Cume is getting negative. So I'm not going to mess with it right now. Not going to mess with it right now. You guys that got any questions, shoot them. I'll be happy to try to answer them. Try is the key word. But this channel is basically for you guys who have just gotten or just purchased your TDU, or whether you purchase Mike Valtos. I just decided, me and Matt just decided, hey, you know, hey man, let's go live and just show them an approach how we look at a footprint chart, because footprint can be very overwhelming. Footprint can be very overwhelming, very overwhelming. Let's look at some of the obvious here to see if it's something. I don't want to mess with it because we're on the negative side of the Cume. But down here, let's see what's popping here. We got passive buyers. We got a volume decline shooting to the upside, and we got a POC wave. Just because you get a signal does not mean you take the trade. It has to be with your bias or what you think is going on for the day. That's why I always say, and I stress this, because it was an aha moment for me. This was an aha moment for me. Draw your channels. That gives you an idea. That definitely gives you an idea of which way the market is trending. Whether it's short term, medium term, long term. You can also draw a channel on this Cume Delta also. Yeah, it just gives you an idea. It's nothing is etched in stone. You know, nothing is etched in stone. So just gives you an idea, and this is why I'm not taking. This is why I'm not taking that trade. I see short term. I see everything going down right now. Cume Delta's going down right now, and guess what? We are below the moving average. We are below the moving average. Where's my yeah? We're below that moving average. So now I'm not interested in a long trade. Not at all. And a lot of times that keeps me out of trouble. I don't care if this takes off to the upside and runs, 10 points. I'm not going to do it. More times than not, drawing those trend lines and everything will keep you out of trouble. Just a little tidbit. And you can look at this and tell this is the same chart we were just looking at, except it has footprint on it. Trend line is going down. And Cume Delta is below the moving average. So I'll just keep that to I'll just leave that alone and wait for a short signal, seeing as though we're on the red side of the Cume Delta. That keeps me out of trouble. Now, like I said, if you're running MACD, Magic likes looking at the MACD. or whatever the Keltner channels or whatever else in something is telling you to go long, this is a good long signal, by all means, look at it, consider it, and if it's what you like, take it. I'm just showing you what keeps me out of trouble. Yep. I am going to keep an eye on that trade, though. I am going to keep an eye on that trade. And what I found is, me looking at the CUM, I found that when I follow my CUM, when it's above or below a certain threshold, I get follow through. Meaning, I like to see a minus 8,000 or more. When it starts to get to like minus 7,000, 8,000, it catches my attention. Or plus 7,000 or plus 8,000, it catches my attention. Yeah, Morgan. Might set up for a short. Yep. Because now we gotta look at this Valtos. Now we have a POC flashing, and this is only flashing, but I like to see that POC. We got a POC wave flashing to the downside, but I like to see it come with some signals there. Let's see if any signals pop on this 15R. By the way, we're looking at, is this a double top up here or are we hitting resistance? I'm gonna call this resistance. I'm gonna call it resistance. Got a min-max up here, min-max over here. And this is what this is about. Playing the chart as it's happening. Got a min-max here, min-max here, but we got minus 1428 here. When it came back up here, even though we got some sellers, we got less sellers because we're minus 916. So I'm gonna keep my eye out, because if this bar closes down and we got some signals here with a bigger delta than what's happening here, I would definitely have to consider that. So let's see what this does. Totally agree, Morgan. Totally agree. Sitting out. That's the same conclusion I came to. Just sit out and wait. Let's see what this does. But the deltas to the downside would definitely have to, get me in. That would be one of my clues for getting in. And that's all a FootPrint does. All a FootPrint does is it gives you clues as to where the sellers are and where the buyers are. It gives you clues to where the sellers are and where the buyers are. And right now, we're getting clues, but they're so-so. I'm gonna call them so-so clues. We're getting so-so clues here. Not enough to make you want to get in. And I remember when I first started looking at FootPrint, every clue I got, oh, I'm getting in this. This is a short. No, it's not. It's a clue. Yes. Morgan is correct. If we get over 800 negative delta here, I might go short. Right. Those are the kind of numbers me and Magic like to see. But don't forget, guys, me and Morgan are looking at 15R. We're looking at 15 range charts. You might be looking at a 12. You might be looking at a 10. You might be looking at even an 8. I'm looking at a 15. So my number's going to be different from yours. Magic He likes his extreme delta to be set somewhere between 700 and 950. Definitely something to consider. Yes. Bigger delta I would have to consider it. Matter of fact, if this bar closes down, I think you guys are getting a pretty good lesson from me today. I hope so. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button. I got to tell you guys, start hitting that like button if you like what you're seeing. If you guys are considering, you got minus 916 here, and he's talking about this delta right here. I would like to see this delta bigger than this minus 916 or lower for that matter. You know, I would like to see that delta bigger than that minus 916. I would definitely have to consider that because the cum is already 2538 and we're looking at 2873 here. Now we're looking at 2900. But yes, I would like to see that delta bigger. When I hit this, when I cut on my little bar marker, it freezes the chart. So that's why those numbers are changing right now. But yeah, we're at 2538 here, and now we're at minus 2800 there. But yeah, a bigger delta, and it's closing close to the min now. So we got a thin print flashing, and we got a min max flashing here. Not quite enough for me to move, but yeah, it's getting there. Might see a sell-off for the day. Maybe. I don't know what stocks are holding this this Dow cash up. I haven't looked at my heat map. Like I said, you can look at the heat map and you can tell by looking at the Dow if a lot of stocks are green or if I'm just predicting. This is just a prediction. I think that we only got one or two stocks that's holding us up on the Dow. I know nothing about reading the Dow though, so who cares what I think on that? But anyway, that notice that delta now is minus 760. Now, if you really want to get technical, it's not more than 916. So we got minus 760 here. And a lot of times, what this will do, or what the market will do, is it will start chopping in this area. It will get caught in a range. But that delta, or the current bar, will start to build going down or going up. That's how you know when you're getting ready to get a breakout. Or that's how I know when I'm getting ready to get a breakout. That delta starts to build to the upside or to the downside. Then I can take my range. Actually, I can take my range indicator and you can see we're in a range now. Draw your ranges on your chart. If you feel you're sideways, draw that range. Draw that range. I would like to see a sniper here. I would like to see a sniper here. I'm not getting one yet, though. I see one in my future, though. I'm detecting one in my future. Now we got a third bar and we're starting to sell off here. We got a ratio flashing 0.56. Anything 0.69 and below is defense. 30 or above is exhaustion. So we got defense. And we got a seller here. Got a little square circle selling here. Yep, we're selling off. We're selling off. We are selling off. Let's see what happens here. And what I like to see, also what I like to see, I'm getting real picky now. I like to see these bigger numbers up here in this area. Now, if we get an up bar and then we get a lower high, if we get a lower high somewhere around in here with a larger delta, bigger than this minus 916, I would be looking at that. So that's the type of stuff I'm going to be looking out for, a pullback with a larger delta. Just a different way of looking at, this is how I look at FootPrint. This is not a red light, green light system. It's just an indicator that gives you information on good selling or buying points on a chart. So yes, with this little rundown, I would like to see a pullback bar and then lower high with a larger delta, because that's telling me that the sellers are definitely will be coming into the market. Not in a hurry to take a trade. Not in a hurry to take a trade. Yeah, Morgan, that delta got close. Yes, it did. But they got a saying, man. Only thing to come close is horseshoes and hand grenades. Horseshoes and hand grenades, man. I'm not looking to come close. I want to hit it dead on the button. And we are starting to get a pullback bar here, like I was saying. And a lot of times, if you wait for this pullback bar, it will come. It will come. These bull signals, this is a bull signal here. I'm not paying attention to this bull signal because my delta is minus 43 or minus 4,400 now. Dancing on minus 4,400 now. But if you want to take a counter trade, that would be on you. That would definitely be on you. That big delta is on the lows of the day. Big delta is on the lows of the day. Let's see what happens on this pullback. What I would like to see, based on my sniper chart, I would like to see one of these bars close down with an up delta below this moving average. That's going to be a sniper trade. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. I would also get an alert on it also. I would also get an alert on that trade also. So I'm definitely keeping an eye out for that particular trade. Definitely keep an eye out because I think it's going. I think one is going to pop. I'm hoping one is going to pop. I'm hoping one is going to pop. But what you want, what the market gives you, is two different things. You can't persuade the market. The market is always correct. Remember, the market is the teacher, you are the student, always. Yes, indeedy. Let's go back, look at Baltos for a second here. Notice this trade that I didn't take, rolled right on over and came on down. Now it's giving another signal. And this is, you know, like I said, that QM Delta, this is why I use the QM Delta, because it keeps me out of trouble like this. It keeps me out of trouble like that. That QM Delta, whatever it is, if that QM Delta is negative, if I'm going to take a trade, even though it might not be at my threshold, it would have to be in the direction of the QM Delta. That's my own personal opinion. That's not a fact. That's just my own personal opinion. Magic likes to use the MACD. You might like to use the stochastics, the overbought or oversold in stochastics. You might have a 21 period, a 59 period, and an 89 period EMA on your chart. This is on you, how you want to put those filters on your chart. It's all on you. So yeah, that's the trade that I did not take to the upside. And this is why you have to pay attention to whatever you got that keeps you out of long trades or short trades. That's what you use. And like I said, draw your trend lines. That keeps you out of a lot of bad losing trades also. Now you could sit 100 people down in front of screens, right? You can sit 100 people down in front of a screen and you can put TDU from them and you'll probably get 100 different trades of the way people see different trades. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because now you get a good idea of what other people are looking at. You might see something totally different. If you see something different, do the research on it. See if it's worth going down that rabbit hole. It might be worth it. Go down that rabbit hole and find out if that trade is profitable or not over the long haul. Now I'm looking at the profile bars here, right? I'm looking at the profile bars here, and I'm looking at that momentum, that QM momentum. On the pullback, we got minus 1237, but now the momentum is starting to build up again. We got plus 1553, went from plus 171, now we're on the negative side, and on the one bar is just basically, we were at plus 703, now we're at plus 356. The momentum is starting to fall off to the downside. Not interested in no long trades at this point. QM Delta is minus 4,400. Not interested in no long trades at this point. Okay. Then we got delta building up on this lower high here. Let's see how big it gets. The number is probably going to be compared to minus 760. This is after the last pullback, but you can also, it's almost like you can also look at you can look at this one or you can look at this one. I'm looking at this one because this is the closest. You got a pullback here, boom, lower high, boom. So we close down here. If we close down here at 39, it would take 39 and a quarter to close at that bar. I would like to see a nice big negative delta there. Five-minute fair value gap here. You got a 5 minute? I don't have a 5 minute there. Where are my fair? Let me see if let me make sure I got my fair value gap stuff set right. But then too, I think you was wrong the other day with your fair value gaps, wasn't you, Morgan? Let me look at my fair value gaps and make sure my fair value gaps are set right. You got me questioning, man. You got me questioning my stuff. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You got a fair value, 5 minute fair value gap there? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Look at your settings. Make sure your settings are right. Then too, you should have the same thing. Pull a 5 minute chart. Yeah, you got one on 5 minute chart. I got the indicator running. That might be the difference. That might be and you're using your eyeballs, yes. But look, check this out. I got on my settings on my fair value gap. Here's what I have set. On my fair value gap indicator, I'm looking at a minimum gap size of 1.5 points. I don't know if you have that, meaning it has to be 1.5 points or 6 ticks. I'm gonna use magic's terms, 6 ticks or larger, or smaller for that matter if you're on the negative side, on the fair value gap. So you might have a gap, but if it's not larger than 6 ticks, a minimum size of 6 ticks, I don't want to see it. That might be the difference between our fair value gap. It's 1 3/4. Yeah, I don't have that one. And I'm only looking at 3 days. How many days you got loaded on your and what day is that coming from? Because I only got 3 days loaded on my chart. That makes a difference also. Mike Valtos is pushing his encyclopedia. It's on sale. There's no affiliation. I don't get paid for it. Just info for sale. Look it up. Look it up. You gotta sell. Yeah, I don't have that fair value gap on my chart. I don't have it yet anyway. If you just wicked it, I wouldn't get. If you just wicked it, then it wouldn't pop up on my chart quite yet. I think it takes I know there's a delay. I know it's 11:09 now. I noticed something about the time and when those fair value gaps pop up. So I'm gonna pay attention if it pops up. I'm gonna definitely pay attention if it pops up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna create a chart. I'm gonna create a 5-minute chart right now. I'm gonna create a 5-minute chart right now just to see if it pops up. You might be teaching me something new here, man. I'm gonna give you your props if you're teaching me something new here. I'm gonna give you your props. Let's see what we popping with here. Let's see what we popping with here. And you say it just popped up 3 minutes ago, or 3 bars ago, not 3 minutes ago, 3 bars ago. I'm gonna give you your props, man. I'm gonna give you your recognition, man. You will get a star on your forehead if I get a zone on my chart. Five minute, 5 days, apply. Where's my data? Do I got a problem here? What the heck is going on with my data? Let me try that again. I see what happened. Okay. 5 minute. I don't know where those symbols come from. 5 minute, 5 days. Computers are very sensitive. If you do something wrong, it's only doing what you tell it to do. I see what happened. For some reason, I didn't have the month in front of the symbol. Didn't have the month in front of the symbol. You say 1055 bar, if I'm not mistaken. You say 1055, right? Let me load up that indicator. Nope. Nope, did not get it. Did not get it. Oh, and you know what? I see why what you're looking at. This particular indicator, let me show you something about this particular indicator. Require fair value gap bars in same direction. I see what's going on here. I see what gap you're looking at, Mike. Yeah, I see what gap, but my bars are not, those bars aren't in the same direction. That's the plus side of running this particular indicator. I want to see the gaps in the same direction. This bar right here and that 1050 bar and that 11 o'clock bar, they're going in opposite directions. Got you. Got you. I see what's going on now. If I go here, if I go back to that indicator and change that, then it should put a gap there if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what happens. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I got that going in the same, I got those gaps going in the same direction. It's a setting in there and I have it set to going in the same direction. So yeah, there it is. But I'm not going to change it right now. I'm not going to mess with it right now. You got me thinking about something. I probably do. And I probably am going to uncheck that. But I'm going to see which benefits me the most. I'll do that over the weekend. I'll see which one benefits me the most. You got it. You got it. That's why you have a zone there. Those bars are going in opposite directions. And inside that indicator, you have a require fair value gap bars in same direction. I have that checked off. So when I do check that off, they disappear. Got you. Got you. Very interesting. Very interesting. Got you. I'm gonna see if there's a benefit of that. You know, I don't know yet. I'm so used to using that indicator with that option being checked. Bars have to be going in the same direction. I'm gonna see if there's a difference. I'm gonna definitely see if there's a difference and see which one benefits me the most. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, as soon as I thought about it, I went to the indicator and looked that up. Also notice, guys, here what I was just talking about, this indicator or this delta is not bigger than this delta right here, which is minus 760, or this delta right here, which is minus 916. It's less. So I'm not interested. I wasn't interested in this lower high right here. We might get ready to go into sideways markets. And like I said, you might need something real huge, or not real huge, but bigger than like Morgan K said, bigger than minus 800 in order for me to become interested. And as you can see, it's pussyfooting around in this area. Playing around in this area. Right on top of yesterday's range here. Morgan says we're right on top of yesterday's range. And as you can see, the low of the session is currently 37 and a quarter. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Sniper about to fire. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, missed it. God dog it. That's what happens when I go to the bathroom, man. Yes. Nope, 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 nope. Don't see no sniper. Don't see no sniper. That was to the upside. That was to the upside. That was to the upside. And of course, I'm not taking no long trade, so nothing popping there. Nothing popping on sniper. It did fire to the upside, though. Don't want that one. I want something firing to the downside, man. Oh, we might get ready to fire something off here. You might be right after all. We get down to 38 and a half. That's going to be a that's going to be, well, it acted like it for a minute. If this cum delta stays green, yes, it will be I will be looking to fire on the sniper. But the bar has to close down. Cum delta is not moving, which is good. Bar has to close at 38 and a half. Let's see what happens here. No, they're trying to push the bar up. Trying to push that bar up. Looks like it's going to close up too, but I've seen bars dance up here on the highs or the lows, right ready to close, and they turn around and go in the opposite direction real quick. That's why you don't run. That's a good reason. This is a good example of why you don't run ahead of a bar. Don't assume it's going to close up just because it's one tick away, or assume it's going to close down because it's one tick away, because it'll turn around on you and go the opposite direction. And you're sitting in a long trade or a short trade, and then the bars then went into an opposite direction. Sniper trade is going to be if this bar closes down at 38 and a half and the cum delta stays green, which is turning into a doji, Morgan. They're going to take my sniper trade away from me, man. Cum looked like it wants to go in the direction of the bar, man. It's flashing red. Yes, we have very good volume today. Very good volume. I got my finger on the button in case it does want to close down with the green, with the cum delta being green. If that close is below the open on the cum, I will get a signal. Or no, above the open, because it has to be a green bar. It has to be above the open. They heard us, yeah. Yeah, they heard us, man. They knew we were hoping for a sniper. Nah, they look like they're gonna take it from us. I don't know, man. Call your friends on the floor, man. Tell them what we looking for, man. Tell them kind of trade we looking for. Shoot. You got that right. Morgan said it's Friday. They out drinking already. Man, I can't tell you how many times people at the trade desk, hey, we going out to the bar after the close. You coming? I don't drink, so I never went with them, but that was the word around the trade center. Hey, we going to the bar after we going to meet down there. There's a bar called Jack's. Or one of their other favorite bars, but Jack's sold some pretty good chicken wings, man. Oh man, you talking about teriyaki chicken wings with a salad? Oh my goodness. Jack's in Chicago, right down the street from the brokerage firm. It was called Jack's on I want to say they're on Washington. Is that Washington or Jackson? Nope, they're on Jackson. Oh man. They had some real good wings, man. I used to tear them wings up. And they just be going down there to get drunk, get tore up. That wasn't my thing though, so. Yep. You got me thinking about the good old days, man. Look at this. This bar does not want to close. This bar does not want to close. Sniper trade right there, but the Kuhn was above the moving average. Let me show you guys something while we're waiting for something to pop off here. This trade right here. That Kuhn was not below that moving average because that was a nice that would have been a nice trade right there. It is a nice trade. It just didn't fall within my guidelines. Did not fall within my guidelines. Pretty nice fall there too. Before retracement, that's 7 3/4 point before retracement. But I'm gonna stick to my rules. I'm gonna stick to my rules. And you see trades like this pop off every once in a while. You can take this trade. Now this is based on what I'm using. What you're using might show something totally different, right? What you're using might show something totally different, but this is a trade, but this cum delta was not below this moving average for me. Like I said, this trade comes often enough that you can let trades like this bypass. Well, I do anyway, because I know another bus will be along. But that's a 7 3. That's an 8-point run right there. That's $387 move on one contract. Hopefully we'll get something before we get offline, which is going to be real soon. So. I will keep my eye on that. Back to TDU. Yeah, we're caught in sideways action here now, man. Caught in sideways action. And it's Friday too. You might be right, Morgan. They might have been gone. They might have left the trade desk already, man. But with everything being electronic now, there aren't as many order clerks and stuff working as it was years ago. That's where you get all your experience, man. You get all of your experience working on the trade desk. You get a whole lot of experience working on the trade desk. I remember working on the trade desk, there would be clients. Get this, there would be clients who had, you know, their children was on summer school break, and actually they could come to the brokerage firm and get a summer job there working on a trade desk just to learn how the business goes. Man, that's priceless right there. That is priceless. Yeah, Morgan, just me and you passing contracts back and forth. That's exactly what they doing right here, man. That's exactly what they doing right here. But yeah, people used to come down and work at our brokerage firm just to get experience. That's how you get it. Get on the trade desk. That's how you get it. If you live in Chicago and you think you can get experience, you want to get into the trading business, because trading is not for everybody. I'm going to tell you now. The pressure, sometimes you just don't want to deal with the pressure, man. It makes you, if I was a drinker, I'd be drunk right now. It makes you go and get a drink. It makes you go outside and take a smoke. The pressure is a monster. Sometimes it's a monster. You got losing days, you got good days, you got bad days. And we were trading a fun. And I was just telling a friend of mine yesterday, I mean, sometimes some of those days would be so bad, you know, and if you're trading a fund, you're not up 200-300. You're up 200,000-300,000. You might have a bad day of $500,000 or $1 million. That shit ain't no fun, man. That's why I don't want to trade nobody else's money no more. It's a headache. It really is. It's a headache. But yeah, I would get off work and go right downtown Chicago and go to the nearest movie theater and catch a movie just to wind down sometime. Just to come down off that high. That adrenaline, because your adrenaline is flowing the whole time you're sitting at a trade desk. So yeah, I don't want to trade nobody else's money. Trade your own money. That's the goal of this channel. The goal of this channel is not to, and you probably be able to do it, is not to get in a fund or trade somebody else's funds. But the goal of this channel is to show you the ins and outs of how we approach the market and trade your own money. That's the goal. You want to trade your own money. That's the ultimate goal. Inside of a real tight range here, real tight range. Minus 5,600 on the Kuhn. We are at plus 62 now on the Dow. Yeah, it's starting to come down a tad bit. NASDAQ is still dancing plus 24 on the cash. I'm talking the cash, so basically unchanged for the day. When you got the Dow moving like this, it's nasty day, especially if you're trying to pull off trades. You look at the daily chart. Look at the daily chart here. We're looking at a hangman potentially setting up. Of course, the daily isn't through till 4 o'clock in the evening. But looks like it was positive, slightly positive today. Now we're back to unchanged on the futures and have a potential of going to the downside. Bonds are already down today, 116.04. see what happens here. See if we break to the downside here before I get off. Yeah, I like to see it break this 37.25, then pull back and drop off again. Now we got the federal budget balance coming out, and this is a low impact. We got the federal budget balance coming out at 2 o'clock. Even though it says low impact, I don't think that's a low impact report. But we're gonna see. I don't know if I'm gonna be online then, but I'm gonna definitely pay attention at 2 o'clock to see if that's gonna be a low. Something tells me that's not gonna be a low impact report. Something's definitely telling me that's not going to be a low impact. Federal budget balance. It's all about balancing in budgets today. I don't think that's a low impact. I think that's a medium. Got an overcast, it's raining. Definitely then got kind of slow here. I don't know. You know, a lot of times after the trading day, guys, go back and see what trades or potential trades you possibly missed. You know, you learn a lot from going back, seeing if you really missed anything today. 952. Were we below moving average? Was the Q below moving average at 952? No, it wasn't. So wouldn't have caught that. Nothing there wouldn't have got me in that trade except I don't know. Possibly up there, but nah. Always go back and look at your charts and see what potential trades you did miss out on. See what potential trades you did miss out on. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything today. Some counter trades were counter trades possibly. Missed out on some counter trades, and I don't count the counter trades because I don't mess around with counter trades no more. I leave the counter trades to you guys. Always go back and look at your chart and see what you missed, what you might have missed, what could have been better. That's the only way you're going to get better at this game. Well, that's the only way we're going to get better at this game. Not you, but we. I'm included in that. Because I always go back and look and see how I could have done better. We are leaning to the downside now. Look at this 438. Here we go. Minus 438. Ghost trade here. Minus 924. Min max, thin print. No meat on the bone, no. No meat on the bone, but I'll tell you, it doesn't have to be a lot of meat on the bone in order for me to take a trade. I just like to see some other signals there, like some delta slingshots, some delta traps, some other stuff. Let's see if Baltos, did Baltos give a signal up here? No, Baltos didn't give a signal up here either. So I don't feel too bad. It's almost like a double top, or it's hitting resistance. 49.66 on the Cume. Then he comes back up to the same area, 59.18. Yeah, I don't have too much confidence in those trades, but yeah, that's a potential trade right there. Just looking at the bigger, that was a pretty big drop. Nah, not really a big drop, but the Cume was telling you that's 1,000 more. That's actually 1,000 more in that Cume. Show you guys what I'm looking at here. 49.66, 59.18. Yeah, that's quite a big drop in the Cume there. Quite a big drop in the Cume there, but you would have had to get a good fill right around 39, made a low of 36. Yeah, that ain't no more than 39 to 36. That's no more than 3 points. We're not getting no follow through there. In worst case scenario, you get to the market, you're looking at 30, yeah, 30, roughly, you would probably got about 39, 38 and a quarter. Made a low of 36. Yeah. You might have got 8 ticks out of that, maybe. If your ATM, my ATM is set up that way. I think I have my first target set at 8 ticks. That's on one of my ATM strategies, so yeah, I'm not feeling too comfortable with those trades yet. Now, if the delta was big time negative, I probably would have taken that trade, but I'm not looking that tight into the numbers and stuff. Even though that ask is 20 and that sometimes you're going to see that 20 versus 82. That's when you start resorting to the deltas. You got minus 438 and you got minus 924. The Cume is 49.66, 59.18. You might have taken that. That might have been tempted to take that. Just another way of looking at the numbers. Just another way of looking at the numbers. Making new session lows here. Making new session lows here. I think I'm gonna set that delta breakout. There's a signal on here called delta breakout. I think I'm gonna set that up in the set that alert up in the TDU. Just so I can see it. It doesn't have to come with the swings. It might come with some other signals that I might be interested in. So I'm gonna see how that works out this weekend. Might set that up as an alert on my TDU. Because right now I only have it set for Baltos. I only have it set for Baltos signal, so. I think I'm gonna set that up. Set that up in TDU, see how it works out. We are making new session lows here. We are making new session lows here. 33 is a session low. Yeah, Morgan, that would be nice. I was just sitting up here looking at that chart. And I was like, I'd like to see a pullback and a sniper. Yes. It's Friday. I haven't pulled a trade today, man. It's Friday too. Closer we get to 12 noon, the chances of me pulling the trade is real slim. Yes, I would like to see a pullback and a sniper here. And that's how you know when you start to get comfortable with your signals, when you start to be able to see that stuff ahead of time. Before the bars are being even created, you start saying, if I can see this bar close here and get a sniper here, then I'll take a short there. That's how you know when you're getting comfortable with your signals. You start to see them before they even formulate. Yes, me and Magic do that all the time. All the time. That's how you know you're starting to get comfortable with your signals, when you start to see them formulate before they even started. We're minus 7,400 here. I'm not looking to take no long trades right now. Not looking to take any long trades right now. Now, if this bar can turn around and go red while the cum stays green, Morgan, you got your wish, man. If this bar can go red while the cum turns around and stays, well, not turns around, but stays green, you got your wish, bro. Yeah, that's a perfect storm setting up here. Perfect storm setting up here. Perfect storm is trying to set up anyway. Bar is green right now. It'll start to look good if that bar starts to go red and that cum stays green. Sellers come in on this bar and that cum stays green. That's gonna be just right. Minus 6,800 on the current cum. See what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Got a Delta trap flashing with a Delta slingshot. Not interested. I don't care where it goes. Not interested. Yes, totally agree with you, Morgan. You can very easily get sucked in. This is where discipline comes in, ladies and gentlemen. This is where discipline comes in. Don't just get sucked into anything. Stick to your rules. Whatever rules you got set for yourself, stick to them. I've seen better days. Trust me, I have seen better days. Stick to your rules. This is a tricky day today. Stick to your rules. You're right. You're right, Morgan. Easy to get sucked in. Matter of fact, when I get off here, I'm going to do y'all one better than that. I'm going to play World of Tanks. Very easy to get sucked into this crap today. If your signals are not popping, which is, I think that's how I started off this video today. If your signals aren't popping, don't be a fiend for action. Don't get in just because you get a signal. Don't take trades just to be taking them. Not unless, I mean, if you're researching and you want to see how something does, fine. You know, but once you start to etch your rules in stone, I got certain rules etched in stone. Magic has certain rules etched in stone. I can see Morgan has certain rules etched in stone. And you only learn that from having bad days. You learn that from losing, not from winning. You learn more from losing than winning. Once your rules start to get etched in stone, don't change your rules just because the day's trading has changed. No. You have done your research long enough to say, here's what I know. Here's how I know I'm going to make 4 points or 5 points on this scalp or whatever you want to call it on this trade. Don't change your rules just because you see one day of something ain't going your way. No, that's not how this works. Definitely stick to your rules. You hit it dead on the button, Morgan. It's very easy to get sucked into this crap today. And it's only crap according to what I'm using. It might not be crap according to what you're using. For what you're using, you might be pulling off some hell of a 5 trades today. Share them with me. Let me know. I want to get paid too. I want to make some money too. But yeah, it's you can get sucked in today. Today is one of them days. Today is one of those days you can get very easily sucked into a trade, and it goes nowhere. And you guys have seen a couple of trades that I said, no, I'm not taking because it ain't popping. And that was on the Valtos chart. You know, nope, not taking a trade because it ain't popping. Not taking this trade because it ain't popping. Very easily get sucked into these trades today. Very easily get sucked in. Here's a trade right here. It wasn't going to get me sucked in. And this is a trade that could have sucked you in on the long side. That's why I say stick to your rules. And if your rules keep you out of this kind of crap, that's good. That's a good thing. Because trust me, better days are coming along, or better trades are coming along. Another bus will be along. Don't be in a hurry to get into a trade just because you got a signal. I can't stress that enough, but some of you, like not some of you, but I'm gonna tell you, I've already learned it, but some of us have to learn that the hard way. And you're gonna learn it with real money too. You're gonna learn it with real money. Very tough day. Very tough day today, Morgan. And you know, with these videos being up on the internet, you can always go back and see what I'm doing, see how I'm doing it. You can always go back and check it out. You can always replay a video. I tell Magic that all the time, man, just replay the video. Just replay the video. See what we got popping here on Baltos. Got a POC wave with a volume decline. Now, I like to see, one thing I do like to see that I've noticed with Baltos is his signals. I like to see his signals. I like to see this POC wave with a delta breakout or a price action divergence. He has two divergences. He has regular delta divergence, and he has a price action divergence. I like to see this POC wave, which is a 3-bar combination with a price action divergence and more if possible at that pivot turn. All right, guys, it's 12 noon. I'm going to call it the day. I am going to call it the day. I'm going to go grab me something to eat. I enjoyed you guys. Don't forget to hit the likes up. Got any questions? Shoot me a question. Like I said, down in the spaces below, you have range bars, fair value gap, Magic's TDU template, and my TDU template. I will see you guys possibly Monday. If I am not doing anything Monday, possibly Monday, but definitely Tuesday. I know I owe you guys some days, so today was a good learning day. Today was a good learning day. Because the more times I get a chance to explain to you guys what's going on, the more I start to understand too. So anyway, I'm out of here.